Welcome back to the mud shop. I thought I would just do a little short video to show you some of my pinched items. I talked about in the other videos about taking just a little tiny scrap piece of clay when you get through making what you're going to make, and instead of throwing it into a reclaim bucket, this is what I do with it. Okay, I have several different pieces that I've cut into leaves to hang either for a wind chime or on a chain for a necklace. These little chunky beads, you can form these. They're easy to glaze, easy to fire. Just put it on a stilt. I made a little round, and I've got a little tiny round cup, and I used it to kind of run around the edges to smooth it out real good. It is pinched cinder where the inside is. It's not solid clay. It's hollow on the inside. So I punched a hole in it so the air would escape. But I just drew around this, made a ball, and did a little pinch hook. Just took the clay that I had left and did that. Also, I make candy canes. These are very simple. Just roll out your coil. But now I will tell you, when you put it to dry, bump this part against something and then put something against this part, because as it dries, it moves and stretches outward. So you want to put something on both sides of it so that as it dries, it stays. So you can hook it on your tree. But I have a bag full of these, and I put them on my tree every year. I love them. I pinched, this year is the first time I did this. I did the same way I did the round one, but then I opened it up instead of closing it, and I pinched a little Mary Joseph in a little manger there with the baby Jesus. You can see his head actually, and the baby on top. The baby's glazed in blue, and Mary's blue, and Joseph is green, and then the hay around the baby is yellow, and the star on top is yellow. And then I just put a clear glaze to seal it, and put a glaze on the outside. And this is the Stoneware 112 speckled brown clay. But that's what you can do with a little tiny piece of clay. This one I did another little, just like I did that one, just this is a little bit bigger. And I did cut a little cookie cutter flower and use it for the top. And then I scored this at the top to make it look like the little hanger on it. I also put a hole in it. You can see where it's in between there and on the bottom. I want to make sure air can escape. I made little heart dishes, little heart bowl, little round bowl. These are cosmic tea dust. I tried them one time. You can use these little pinch pots to test as test tiles for your glazes. The little cup and saucer. This little plate I showed on the last video was just a tiny piece of clay left over. And after I cut the circle, the pieces around the edges, when I smoothed it out, is what I formed. I used the last pieces to form these little feet. So I didn't have enough to make a round foot, a solid foot, but I did for that. This little mug was a pinched mug. It's functional if you wanted to use it for something, or a child's tea set. And I did a little bit of pretty texture on this one. And it's even got a mug topper. How about that? And I pinched a couple baskets. Here's the little tiny basket with just a straight handle. And then here's a basket, and I cut out a heart actually, and then just kind of rounded it a little bit and put a foot on it. Had enough clay to get a good beefy handle on top. And I scored this. It's not really twisted. I just scored it and make it look like it's twisted. And then also I showed the little tray in the last video, and the little pinch pumpkin, and he's hollow on the inside. Tray's just whatever clay I had left, and made sure it was good and flat, and pinched up the edges and crinkled it in, and there you are with a little tray, and it works perfectly. This is actually a functioning teapot. You can even see down in the spout. So you can see down the spout. Maybe you can. But a little tiny teapot, and here's its lid. So there you go. So there's no end to what you can do with your leftover clay. I'm not able to wedge a lot because of health issues. So instead of wedging, this is what I do. And it's a little bit of fun, and it's a little bit of, at the end of your day when you finished making all that you're going to make, and you take these little pieces and you just sit down and form all this, it's just calming. It's just relaxing, and I love doing it. I'll end with my little pieces I started making last year, which is leftover clay pinched into little manger scenes. And I've got, each one of these is different because I pinched out the clay, rolled out the clay. I have a Mary, a Joseph with his cane, and a baby Jesus in his bed. And I have white ones and I have blue ones, and they're all different. Some of them have different textures. You can see this one's got a little more of a different texture. Why is it blurry? I don't know. Anyway, I don't know what it's focusing on. There it goes. But you can see this one's got a different texture than this one is smooth. And then the blue one, this one is smooth, and I've got some in the showroom that has some texture to them. But I made Mary and Joseph and the baby, even did little facial features. You can see a little nose. He's not the prettiest baby, but, you know, it's Jesus, so he is pretty. So you can set them however you like, arrange them however you'd like. And so there you go. No end to what you can do with your scrap clay. You don't need to reclaim. Anyway, thank you for joining me in the mud shop for this little short video. I'm looking forward to getting this stuff into the bisque fire. Still got Christmas trees. I know they won't be ready. This is, my heart's broke on this. I had plans on making several of these nice little lunch trays, but they would have been perfect for big family gatherings. Everybody used their own pottery tray for their lunch, for their meal, for Christmas dinner, but did not work out. Back to the drawing board. But I got stuff hiding in here. It's already glazed and ready to be fired. Got all this that's ready to be bisque fired. Still have some over here to be glazed. This is going to be a refire. I did not like how the old plain stuff, so I'm going to refire that. It's got some color on it. And that's where we are in the mud shop. And I thank you for joining me. Pick you up some little pieces of clay. You can also get some air dry clay and make little pieces like this. Just pinch it. You don't need a wheel. You don't need a slab roller. Just need the clay and a little bit of time. Well, enjoy your time working with clay, or come back and watch my videos anytime. I thank you for joining me. By the way, like and subscribe. Share this and let other people look at my videos if they would. Thanks again. See you next time in the mud shop.